and goals as enshrined in the Constitution of India. So, it is to promote the capabilities for inculcating national values and goals as enshrined in the Constitution of India, to enable teachers to act as agents of modernization and social change, to enable teachers to act as agents of modernization and social change, to sensitize teachers towards the promotion of social cohesion, international understanding, and protection of human rights and rights of the child. To transform student teachers into competent and committed professionals willing to perform the identified tasks, to develop competencies and skill needed for becoming an effective teacher, to sensitize teachers and teacher educators about emerging issues such as environment, ecology, population, gender equality, legal literacy, etc. To empower teachers to cultivate rational thinking and scientific temper among the students, to develop critical awareness about the social realities, and to develop managerial and organizational skills between the students. Yeah. Now the general objectives for in-service teacher education. Okay, these the previously we have discussed about above points that we are discussing are about that of your pre-service teacher training. Now let us discuss little bit about the general objectives for the in-service teacher training. Now, the objectives of in-service teacher training are to upgrade the qualification of underqualified and untrained teachers, to upgrade the professional competencies of serving teachers, to prepare teachers for the new roles, provide knowledge and skills relating to emerging social changes and content process and evaluation. One of the objectives is also to make teachers aware of critical areas and issues like competency-based learning, multi-grade learning, multi-level and multi-channel teaching, teaching students for the disadvantaged groups, meeting educational needs of children with learning problem and developing inquiry skills, um, all these things, and use of mass media in educational development, all these things included for that of your in-service teachers. Then this is also the one of the objective is also to overcome the gap and deficiency of pre-service education, because after coming to the service we are getting the training during our pre-service teacher training, but also after that when we come to the real field there remains a gap. So this in-service teacher training will definitely bridge that gap. Thus, professional education of teachers is being organized at different levels and for diversified needs. The program needs continuous revamping and revision, keeping in view the development of modern pedagogy and the requirement of various disciplines. Emphasis on practical training is also being given. Okay, in order to create awareness among teachers, trainings about their role in transforming the Indian society into a truly valued-based, democratic, and secular society. So these are the purpose. These are the objectives. Okay, so these are all about that of your teacher training institutions or the professional course like teacher training. So let us discuss little bit about that of the medical education. As I have previously told you regarding that, we are discussing about the professional higher education courses because last class you might have gone through the structure of education, different educations at different levels, pre-primary, primary, secondary, higher secondary education. So apart from that, today we are discussing about this professional courses. So we have already completed discussion regarding that of your teacher training. Okay, teaching is a profession. If you consider teaching as a profession, then what are the developments for teaching as a profession? In that we discussed regarding that of your mm, teacher training, then that of your teacher education, in-service teacher education, pre-service teacher education, then various organizations, various institutions, role of NCRT, role of that of your NCTE, and objectives of NCTE. Then we have discussed also the different types of teacher training institutions like SCRTs, NCRTs, then diets, then that of your what other is there? Then open learning systems. All those things are there for that of your teaching profession. In service teacher training, pre-service teacher training, motive or purpose of in service and pre-service teacher training. Different, they are different. Even for in-service teacher training to develop to bridge the gap, we find out that there is to bridge the gap between that of the pre-service teacher training and then once a teacher comes to that of his own occupation. So to bridge the gap, we are also providing in-service teacher training. Okay, to enhance the competencies of teacher, we are providing in-service teacher training. So we have discussed about all those things. Now let us come to another professor, that is that of your medical professor. So we will discuss regarding the medical education. The concept of a medicine is not altogether a new one in our country. Local, so previously when there were no means a proper medical colleges and all that, we know very well that there was practice of local people were using certain local remedies and homemade remedies. Then there are very tribal at tribal levels that you might be knowing in our today even also we are using certain home remedies for certain immediate to solve certain immediate issues of health related problems. We are also nowadays also we are using these home remedies. Okay, but let us discuss regarding that of the medical education. The concept of medical education is not altogether a new one in our country. Local practice of medicine at village or tribal levels are traditional remedies, popularly referred to as grandmother's remedies. Okay, I think you will agree with it, isn't it? These were prevalent in various interior parts of our country. Nowadays also these are prevalent in various interior parts of our country, and uh, these were not formalized medical educational services. Okay, so these are the home remedies are not formalized. Actually, in 1822, there was a beginning of the formal setup for such training, for training of medical professors. Okay, so the first period 1800 to 1857. Then the second period was 1857 to 1902. And the third period of development was between 1902 to 1973 for all professional courses, including engineering, technology, law, forestry, agriculture, education, veterinary sciences, fine arts, home science, etc. Okay. Previous to that, there was no formal training for these professional courses. So, along with medical courses, all other courses they were actually developed during that of year 1902 to 1973. The first period. The first period what happened 1800 to 1857. The East India Company first of all started the Calcutta Native Medical Institutions for training Indian assistants as medical officers. First of all, where it started? It started in Calcutta. Okay, it started the Calcutta Native Medical Institutions in 1823. The Calcutta Medical and Physical Society was set up, which published a medical journal, also a medical, along with training to the persons, also a medical journal was being published. In 1826, medical classes were attached to Calcutta Sanskrit College and Madrasa. Training upward here are of orthodox nature. Human anatomy was learnt with models of works or was never learnt at all. In 1835, these classes were closed. In 1826, a native medical school was set up by Elphinstone but abolished in 1832 as it didn't prove to be a success. The medical school Bengal at Bombay imparted medical education. Later on, Calcutta Medical College was founded in 1835 and a medical college in Pune in 1836. Then the Grand Medical College. So all these are about that of the history of that of your medical colleges. Then the second period, 1857 to 1902. What happened there? Then, in addition to the three medical colleges started during the first period, one more college was added. It was in Lahore in 1860. Thus, there were 21 medical schools by 1901 to 1902. Mad- Madras Medical College was offering a course leading to licensing in sanitary science. The need for veterinary science was also felt by the government, and it was set in Lahore in 1882, okay, in Bombay in 1886, and Calcutta in 1893. Then came the third period. The third period was from the third period regarding the development of medical colleges was from 1902 to 1973. Okay. So the medical education advanced rapidly after independence. So 1956, 57, there was many as 99 medical colleges and 109 medical schools in the country. The medical schools were closed later on. In 1971, there was 95 medical colleges and 15 dental colleges. Okay, along with medical colleges, dental colleges were also set. Almost all colleges were then offering the MBBS degree. For providing postgraduate training to select doctors, a scheme to upgrade certain departments has been adopted. In many areas of specialization, postgraduate courses are being offered. Some institutions assist in the development of qualitative education in the field of medicine. These are the Medical Council of India, the All Indian Institution of Medical Sciences. Okay, these are the bodies. They to maintain the quality in the field of medicine or medical colleges. These are established. Okay. Then what is Medical Council of India? It was established in 1934 under the Indian Medical Council Act 1933. Okay. With the main function of establishing uniform standards for higher qualification in medicine. So, what are the objectives of this council? The objectives of the councils are to maintenance of uniform standards of medical education at both undergraduate and postgraduate level. Not that the medical courses were being different in different states and different colleges. They will be different. So to maintain the uniformity, this council's role, the councils look after is to maintain a standard practice everywhere in every college. Okay, the recommendations for recognition and de-recognition of medical qualifications. Okay, based on the standard of the college, there can be recognition or derecognition of medical qualification in medical institutions of India or in foreign countries. Then permanent registration or provisional registration of doctors with recognized medical qualifications. So the doctor have to be licensed. They have to get the license. Okay, they have to get the license. They have to get the registration as a practitioner. Then the reciprocity with the foreign countries in the matter of mutual recognition of medical qualifications. Function of the councils are inspection or visit to medical colleges, okay, with a view to maintain the proper standards. So what the council will do, they have to check the quality of the education or medical education provided to the practitioners by the medical colleges. Next, what is the other function? Permission to start new medical college. Okay, these councils like NCT is there. In our education system as NCT is there. These medical councils there to provide the permission to start new colleges. Then the permission to start a PG course also. Then they have to provide recognition or de-recognition to medical qualifications. Okay? If a substandard practice is being carried out by some colleges, is required facilities are not there, then they can also go for deregistration. To maintain Indian medical register of persons who hold recognized medical qualifications. Okay, these are some of the objectives of the medical council. Then we all know about the next form, the All Indian Institution of Medical Sciences. This institute was established in 1956 as a nucleus for nurturing excellence in all aspects of healthcare. Okay, so let us have little bit background, the study little bit background study on that of your. What is that? Background study on that of a AIMS. AIMS is All Indian. What is that? The All Indian Institute of Medical Sciences. So the purpose is to create a nation that is with the scientific culture, and this was the Jawaharlal Nehru's dream, and immediately after independence he prepared a grand design to achieve it. Among the temples of modern India, which is designed was the center of excellence in medical science. Nehru's dream was that such centers are to be established in the sector of health by health ministry. Yeah. All Indian Institution of Medical Science was established as an institution of national importance with the objective of developing patterns of teaching in medical and paramedical courses for all branches of medical education, so as to demonstrate a high standard medical education in India, to bring together in one place educational facilities of the highest order for the training of personnel in all important branches of health activity, and to attain self-sufficiency in postgraduate medical education. That is the we might be knowing about the functions of AIMS. Main functions of AIMS are as follows. The institute has comprehensive facilities for teaching, research, and patient care. As provided in the Act, AIMS conducts teaching programs in medical and paramedical courses, both at undergraduate and postgraduate. Okay? Ah, and 25 clinical departments, including four super specialty centers, are being there in AIMS. Then, what are the specific functions of AIMS? Okay, what are the specific functions of AIMS? The specific functions of AIMS are as follows. So, to provide nursing and dental education, to impart on the undergraduate and postgraduate teaching in medical and related physical biological sciences, to attain self-sufficiency in postgraduate medical education, okay, to provide health care, preventive, primitive, and curative, primary, secondary, and tertiary, at tertiary level, to organize community-based teaching and research in medical education. Okay, so these are all about that of your medical education. As we have discussed previously, so there are teacher training we have completed, teaching profession we have completed, then we have discussed a little bit regarding that of your medical education. Now let us consider little bit regarding that of your agricultural education. India being a predominantly agricultural country with 80% of the population belonging to the rural area, and they are traditionally depending on farming, and education related to agriculture science is a field which needs utmost attention. So we all know that how we are basically dependent upon farming. Okay, India is a country where we are basically dependent on farming. Our 80% population, their earnings is dependent on that of the farming. So we should have the knowledge, and we should apply the science in this agricultural field. Okay. For that reason, these agricultural universities were being established. The Central Agricultural University, uh, 31 state agricultural universities, and 4 National Institute of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, having the status of deemed to be university, were being established in India. So again, as we have studied the history of that of your education, then education teacher training institution, history of that of your medical institutions. Similarly, let us have a look on that of the history of that of this this agricultural institution. The first period was again between that of your 800 to 1857. During this period, not a single agriculture education institution existed in the country. Okay, though the need for imparting scientific agricultural education was stressed. Okay, the second period. So let us consider the second period, 1857 to 1902. What are the different developments occurred during this period? In 1820, an agricultural and a horticultural society was being set up in Calcutta. Okay, an agricultural farm was established at Madras in 1854, and a school of agriculture was added to it in 1886. The agricultural branch was added to Pune Engineering College in 1879. Thus, agricultural education started getting sufficient attention during this period. The, the Famine Commission of 1880 and the Agricultural Conference in 1883 advised the government to direct its attention to agricultural education in rural schools. In 1889, Dr. J. Noelkar of the British Royal Agricultural Society was sent to India to advise the government of India on questions concerned with agriculture. Subsequently, two conferences were held in 1890 and 1893 to discuss the proposals of Dr. Welker. It was agreed that the elementary agricultural principles should be included in of curriculum of village schools as a principal subject. Necessary textbooks should be written and proper teacher training has to be given. The central government examined these recommendations and reviewed the problems in resolution of March 18 1979, the government suggested that. Then what are the suggestions of these recommendations? The agricultural degrees, diplomas, or certificates should be placed upon the same footing as corresponding arts or science degrees. There should not be more than four institutions having advanced diploma. The diploma should be eventually compulsory in case of certain appointments. A special full course leading to the agricultural diploma degree or certificate is required. The practice allowing schoolmasters either before or after appointment to undergo a course for a few months on a government farm is one which deserves consideration. Okay, these were the suggestions. Okay, now let us come to the third period. As usual, as for picture training, as for medical science, and as well as for that of your agricultural science, most of the developments occur might be occurring during this period. Okay. Okay. So as of now, we have discussed regarding that of your teacher training, then medical profession, and then that of your agricultural profession. Okay. So now let us have a look on that of your during the third phase or during that of your 1902 to 1973. What were the developments? Agricultural education received a great deal of attention in 20th century. In 1901, the post of Inspector General of Agriculture for the whole India was created at the center, and the state departments of agriculture were extended. Ah, the resolution of 1904 admitted that the provision of agricultural education was insufficient in the country, and Government of India drew up a scheme of setting up agricultural colleges in each important province. According to the agricultural colleges, which started at Kanpur, Coimbatore, ah, then that of your Pune, then all these things. I mean, in all these regions, various agricultural institutions were being started. As a result of the recommendations of Royal Commission of Agriculture in 1928, which studied the agricultural and rural life in India, Council of Agricultural Research and Indian agricultural institutions were established. Both at New and both the institutions were established at New Delhi. Okay. So in uh, So in 1964 to 65, the number of higher education institutions in agriculture rose up to 45. Okay, and that of the agricultural schools to 95. Agricultural institutions to 45 and agricultural schools to 95. Agriculture was introduced as a subject in primary and secondary schools, and later on in higher secondary schools. You might be heard from your his parents and all that in their course, this agriculture course was there embedded in that itself in 8th standard, 9th standard. These courses were there. Later on, it was revised. Okay. On the lines of on the lines of land grant college of USA, an agricultural university was set up in each state. Okay, previously in USA there were agricultural universities. In line with them, agricultural universities were also set up in each state. Okay. Then now there are more than 40 to 50 projects were sponsored by the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. The following institutions are actively involved in providing research facilities in agricultural and allied branches. So what are those institutions? Let us have a look on the different institutions. They are providing the agricultural research. Centralized research center, we might be all be familiar with that. Cuttack, it exists in Cuttack, CRRI. Okay, Potato Research Institute, Patna. Then Botanical Survey of India, Calcutta. Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Coimbatore. Central Vegetable Breeding Stations. Okay, Kullu Valley. Huh. Dairy research, research in fisheries. All these things were being included. It is being observed that agricultural education has crossed the boundaries of family-related courses and is now providing a variety of courses area. So the agricultural science or the profession that is expanded to various other means branches. It has opened up various branches. What are those branches? Like horticulture, sericulture, floriculture, seafood fisheries, forestry, okay, then veterinary, seed development research centers. These were various research centers and then cross-breeding centers. Okay, so these are the expansions. Expansions of what? These are the expansions of agricultural research institutions, agricultural colleges. These are the expansions. Okay. In the subsequent section, we will find um, we will find the technical education. Okay. So till now we have discussed four things we have discussed. One is that of your three things we have discussed. One is that of your teacher education, teacher training. Then the second is that of your medical education, and third is that of your agriculture. What are the developments in these three fields? Now let us have a look on that of the technical education. So overall, we are discussing about that of your professional courses. Previous classes, you people have studied about the general means organizational structure of education, like education, primary education, secondary education, higher secondary education, and higher education. All these things, step by step, we are moving in that of your organizational way. After that, we are discussing. Today, we are discussing about that of your professional courses. Okay. So then we are covering professional courses. Professional courses, those are providing special training to a specific profession. Under that, we have already studied your teacher training. Then we studied the medical courses, how these medical courses means developed. Okay, starting from 18 to 1882 to then that of your 1973 and till date, how these are being promoted, what are the organizations, what is the motive of these organizations, how they are expanding, and all those things. Then we discussed about agriculture. There is no formal education regarding that of your agriculture in the early period. And then the sequentially these agricultural institutes, this agricultural education or professional education is being developed day by day. And now it has expanded its branches, varieties of branches, not only related only to farming in the field, but it has sericulture, it has horticulture, floriculture, fisheries, veterinaries. So agriculture has been expanded like this. Okay. Now let us come to discuss the fourth thing, that is the technical education. Okay. So at one time, India was noted for the superior quality of its science and technology. Okay. So India always, when we look to the history of India, we found that India is being superior to many countries in the field of science and technology. You might be knowing about that the discovery of zero, starting from the value of pi to discovery of zero to that of your Aryabhata. You might have heard about Aryabhata. You might have heard about the various other things and the Rig Vedas. and all these things, Yajurvedas, Rigvedas, then in the field of medicine, Charaka and Susruta, and all these things you might be heard about. Nowadays it's the time that we are also dealing with that of the IKs. You people might be knowing about that and then knowledge system. So we are discussing about because India is having a very firm stand on the field of science and technology. Okay, it is previously we know all that. So from where we are knowing it from the Mohenjo-daro and from that of the examples of knowledge of the town planning, then the civil engineering, the architecture that prevailed during that time of Mohenjo-daro. It speaks about that of the the rich knowledge of science and technology among the people. When Alexander the Great invaded India, then he found that the canals, the dams, and those were very well constructed in India. Okay. Later on, while India remained stagnant over a period of time, earlier the USA was a advanced country. Today it is a highly developed country, controlling the world and superpower. The USS are also another superpower. Now we think the India is also revamped its science and technology. Now India is also growing with its technical power. Okay, and its science and technology, knowledge of science and technology, its implication in the field of technology. India is also growing. Uh, at one time in India, technological efficiency was a matter of hereditary endowment. Secondly, the state never paid serious attention to promote it till 1940. Okay, technical workmanship. The training in work is done by hand and long been neglected in favor of the intellect. And we have been accustomed to place technical education third in the educational hierarchy. University education received the greatest importance and then the secondary education. Even in European countries, technical education was initially neglected since the Cardinal Newman had propounded that university education should be primarily non-vocational. But slowly, a wave of enthusiasm in favor of technical education steadily grew up, and India became aware of the three dominant factor forces. What is those forces? The masses, the movement, and energy. The energy. They characterized the 20th century civilization. This characterized the 20th century civilization. The state as well as the educationist started giving support for organizing technical education on a sound basis. Technical education during the British period. So let us have a look on the history of technical education in India. During British rule, no comprehensive system of technical education was developed as integral part of the national system of education. The growth of technical education can be seen to fall distinctly in the main phases. The first phase again we are discussing from 1800 to 1857, then 1857 to 902, then 902 to 947. Okay. During the early period, sporadic attempts were being made by East India Company to establish various technical institutions at Roorkee, Calcutta, Madras, Roorkee 1847, Calcutta 1857, Madras 1858, and an engineering college and mechanical school were set up in Pune in 1854. Okay, the second phase, 1857 to 1902, Wood's dispatch in 1854 stressed the importance of professional and vocational education, but the government continued the policy of previous period. The Pune engineering classes was converted as a college in 1866 and Victoria Jubilee Technical Institution Bombay was founded in 1887, mainly through private efforts to provide courses suited for growing Bombay steel industries. Then come the third phase. Okay. During the last decade of the 19th century, during the last decade of the 19th century, there was an insistent demand for technical education, and at almost every annual session, the Indian National Congress stressed the need for promotion of technical education. The government could not remain passive and began deputing few selected candidates to UK and USA for technical training. In 1904, an organization called the Association for Advance of Science and Industrial Education was established, and it started sending Indian students abroad for advanced studies. Okay, for advanced studies, the College of Engineering and Technology at Jadavpur. The College of Engineering and Technology was being established at Jadavpur. It is in West Bengal. Okay. Then this institution provided opportunities to study diploma in mechanical, electrical, and chemical engineering. In 1911, Sir Jamshedji Tata started an important institution of postgraduate studies in engineering and technology at Bangalore. However, the credit for introducing degree courses for the first time in our country goes to the University of Banaras for being made in 1917. Between 1921 and 1937, a number of institutions were set so that students did not have to go abroad for higher studies. These included Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad, then Harcourt Technological Institute at Kanpur, and School of Chemical Technology at Bombay. Okay. All these schools were being established to coordinate the development of technical education and to promote research that would benefit the country as a whole. Government of India prepared a most comprehensive plan on all India basis. Important aspects of the plan are listed below. So now let us have a look on the important aspects of the plan made at that time for technical education. The creation of the Board of Scientific and Industrial Research in 1940 to promote industrial research. The establishment of Delhi Polytechnic. Appointment of ad hoc committee or Sarkar committee in 1945 to look at the possibilities of providing advanced technical education in India on the lines of MES. You might be knowing MES, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. For post-war requirements, the committee recommended not less than four higher institutions for technical education, one in east, north, south, east, and west. Okay. The establishment of All Indian Council of Technical Education by resolution of the Government of India on November 30th, 1945, which is still an active national body for more national body. The appointment of the Scientific Manpower Committee in 1947 for assessing the requirement of personnel for different grades for the next 10 years. So these are the objectives, okay, of developing that of your technical education in India. Technical education. Then let us come to the technical education after independence. Okay, let us have a look on technical education after independence. In 1947, there were 38 institutions with total admission capacity of 2,940 students per year for degree courses and 58 polytechnics with admission capacity of 3,670 students for diploma courses. Plan development put together greater emphasis on development of education, and central government played a significant role from time to time. The government of India appointed number of committees of technical experts under the Ministry of Education. Again, though the national bodies like AICT and the regional committees, the technical education expanded institution-wise, curriculum-wise, course-wise, at graduate and as well as at postgraduate level. At the state level, a separate director of technical education coordinated the promotion of technical education. Okay. The technical education system in India is four-tier system comprising what is those four tiers? One postgraduate course and research, first degree course, diploma course, and vocational industrial training. Each tier is self-contained, and neither the diploma course nor the industrial course are the preparation for the new higher. Okay. So though these four tiers exist in technical education, but they are not dependent. They are independent. One can join at any level. Okay, it is not dependent that after completing diploma only one can join the topic higher degree courses. Rapid progress of technical education. Now let us have a look at the rapid progress of technical education. During the period which saw the steady state of technical education, in the third five-year plan, the central government approved a scheme of setting up regional engineering colleges, the RECs. You might be heard from your parents regarding that of your RECs. Okay. Initially nine in number and 27 polytechnics. The training of craftsmen to receive due attention, these colleges were being developed. Several new projects also were taken up, like setting up of Indian Institution of Science, Bangalore, IISc Bangalore is very famous. We all are knowing about it. Organization of new branches, establishment of higher technical institution, the IITs. We are very well aware of it. Then the provisions of the scholarship and fellowships, these were established the Vigyan Mandirs and promotion of the scientific research. Indian Institution of Science. It is established in 1911. The IIS owes its inception to the princely donation of the prominent industrialist and the Tatas. Okay, it was established by their donation from the family. The central government has been giving generous grants since 1946. The institute offers courses like postgraduate course in automobile engineering, power engineering, electrical and mechanical, for foundry engineering, okay, power engineering, civil and hydraulics, soil mechanics, all these things. Okay, these are the various engineering and the various core fields in which they are providing uh, the technical education. Now let us have a look on that of the Indian Institution of Technology or the IIT, Indian Institute of Technology or the IITs. Initially, five Indian Institute of Technology or IITs were set up in the country. Okay, the first one is at Kharagpur. The Kharagpur, Bombay, Madras, Kanpur, Delhi. Okay, these are the first five IITs. Later on, two more IITs at Roorkee and Guwahati were also established. It is now proposed to establish three new IITs. Now you might be knowing that in every state is having an IIT. Okay, the recent thing is every state is having an IIT. Now, when there are these IITs are in Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, and all states are having one IIT with them. These are the institutes of national importance and premier centers of education and training in engineering and applied sciences at the undergraduate level and provide adequate facilities for postgraduate studies and research. IITs offer the 4-year undergraduate programs, integrated master degree of 5 years. Also, they are providing integrated master degree for 5-year education. Okay. Uh, they also provide certain courses during the engineering courses like general science courses like physics, chemistry, mathematics, biochemical engineering, and biotechnology. The MTech degree courses in various specializations. They are also providing MTech. The IITs are also providing the MTech degree courses in various specializations. 1 year postgraduate diploma courses are also being provided by them. Then PhD courses or PhD programs are also being run by these IITs. Okay. Then the Indian Institute of Management. Then let us come to the Indian Institute of Management. Okay, one more thing is that along with these IITs, there are also joint entrance examination for state government colleges of engineering. There are various state governments from JEE. Nowadays, you might be knowing there's a JEE Advanced and JEE Mains. Two types of courses are there, and students for this technical education nowadays the scenario has been completely changed, and that there are JEE Advanced and JEE Main. The same testing agency is being carrying out all over India the programs like JEE Advanced and JEE Main. JEE Mains is being conducted first, and then after that JEE Advanced is being conducted for intake of students to the IITs, from JEE Mains to NITs and various state government colleges. So the uptake is from there. So now, actually, nowadays these engineering colleges, the technological colleges, they are in high demand. Okay. Indian. Now let us discuss certain thing regarding that of the Indian Institute of Management. The four IIMs are located at Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, and Lucknow. They were set up by the Government of India with the objective to provide high quality management education through teaching, training, research, and consultancy. The institutions are the center of excellence in management education. The first three institutes offer academic programs, postgraduate studies in management equivalent to MBA, fellowship for PhD programs, management development programs, organization-based programs, and research and consultancy for industries. The institutes at Lucknow started functioning with an effect of 1985 to 86. Government has established two more IIMs at Indore, MP, and other at Kajiapur, Calicut, Kerala in 1997 and 98. It has been decided to establish a seventh IIM, Ceylon, in Northeast, okay, during 2006 to 2007. Asian Institute of Technology. Asian Institute of Technology Bangkok is an autonomous international graduate institute providing advanced education in engineering, science, and as an allied field. It is governed by the International Board of Trustees, whose members come from different countries along with that from India. The Government of India has agreed to provide assistance to AITs for deputation of teachers, experts in specialized areas of engineering and technology, meeting the entire cost of their deputation, annual grants up to Rs 3 lakhs for purchase of equipment from India, purchase of books and payments of subscription on academic and technical journals published in India, and expenditure on academic related activities in India. Okay. Now let us have a look at regional engineering colleges. What are these colleges? Under the scheme of establishment of regional engineering colleges, a central government scheme, 17 colleges so far have been established, one in each major state. Each college is a joint and cooperative enterprise of the central government and the state government concerned. All the 17 colleges offer first degree course of 4 years, and 14 of these have facilities for postgraduate and doctoral programs. The colleges are administered by boards of governors with the Ministry for Technical Education of the respective states where the college is located, as chairman with a fair degree of autonomy. Academically, the colleges are affiliated to respective universities in the region where RECs are located. The Government of India meets the entire non-recurring expenditure and 50% of the recurring expenditure on graduate courses, while the balance of 50% is borne by the respective state government. The entire expenditure of the postgraduate course is made by the Government of India. The Ministry of Human Resource Development took the initiative to provide a special grant of Rs 1 crore to the RECs annually for 8 plan period to develop 17 RECs into institution of excellence at par with IITs. Okay, so you might be knowing that these RECs were now being converted into National Institute of Technologies or NITs. Okay, the, there are now currently there are also currently 30 NITs. As per all, there are also number each state is having an NIT. Okay, there are 20 NITs to 2007, but now if you will see, every state is having an NIT. Now there are certain other technical institutions like World Bank assisted technical institutions. As per NEP 86, the government launched major projects to revamp the technical education, which is being implemented in two overlapping phases with the assistance of World Bank to enable the state government to upgrade their polytechnics in capacity, quality, and efficiency. The project under two phases covers 17 states and two union territories and involves 535 polytechnics. Okay. Now let us discuss about All Indian Council of Technical Education (AICTE). Okay, as we have discussed about NCTE, similarly there is a body called AICTE. What is its role? This is an apex body granting recognition. As NCTE is granting recognition to the educational institutions, similarly AICTE is granting the recognition and approval of new courses and institutions to the technical field. It is established in 1945, which still functions actively to guide, support, and govern technical education in India. For more, Indian Institution of Information Technology, IIITs. Okay, Indian Institution of Information Technology, triple ITs. At present, there are three triple ITs, Gwalior, Allahabad, and Jabalpur under the Government of India. New triple IT design and manufacturing has been approved to be established in Tamil Nadu. Funding of technical education. From there comes the fund. Till the early 90s, technical education in the government-run institution was fully funded by the central and the state government. However, the government still provides a major share of funding. The technical institutions like IITs, RSs, NITs are now expected to raise resources through increased tuition fees, consultancy, and endowment. The withdrawal of serious curtailment of government allocated funds to higher education institutions Before any commitments are materialized from private sector in this domain may signal the further decline and eventual non-viability of the Indian higher education system. Okay. The National Board of Accreditation (NBA). Now let us have a look on the National Board of Accreditation. NBA was established in 1994 as a quality monitoring agency of under AICTE. Okay, NBA is established in NAC as we are having NAC. Similarly, NBA is for the technical education. NBA was established in 1994 as quality monitoring agency under AICTE. It conducts assessment and accreditation to technical institutions on a voluntary basis. Okay. The responsibility of maintaining standards in different professional programs rests with different statutory councils that have been established through the Acts of Parliament. These include Bar Council of India, okay, Pharmaceutical Council of India, Indian Nursing Council, Dental Council of India, Central Council of Homeopathy, Central Council of Indian Medicine, Veterinary Council of India, then Rehabilitation Council of India, all these things. Okay, so if we will go back, when we are discussing about the professional courses, we have discussed about four professional courses. One is your teaching as a professor. So we have discussed about that of your teacher training institutions. We have discussed about that of your pre-service and service teacher trainings. Then the institutions they provide, which institutions they provide teacher training, purpose of teacher training, history of teacher training, and then that of your institutions like SCRT, NCRTs, diets, their role, all these things we have discussed. Then we discussed regarding that of your medical services, tracking of medical services, three phases of development, history of medical services, then the roles and responsibility of AIMS, the functionaries of AIMS, and then that of the state government colleges, their development. Now, all these things we have discussed for medical as a profession. Then we have discussed regarding agriculture as a profession. Agriculture for agriculture as a profession, we have also discussed about its history, how it started, which were the colleges. Then we studied about the various phases that agricultural research and agricultural institution, agricultural schools they have come across, and subjects of agriculture that they have got emphasis during the different periods. Everything we have discussed about that of the agriculture is a professor. Okay, so various universities those are being established. Also, we have discussed the expansion of various branches of agriculture, and lastly, we discussed that technical education. Okay, as a professional courses. Under technical education, various engineering courses, how they started, their history, then their purpose, then how they expanded, then Indian Institutes of Science and Technology. We discussed about Indian Institution of Science and Technology, various centers, various states where those things has been developed. Then how it has been developed from that of your RECs, then that of your IITs. We have discussed about the purpose of IITs, types of courses being provided in the IIT, phases of different levels of education in the technical courses. All these things we have discussed, like that of your diploma, degree, post graduation courses, all those things that we have discussed. Then we have discussed about the IITs. Then also we have discussed about different bodies, those who are controlling the technical education, like AICT we have discussed, NBA we have discussed, agency like NBA we have discussed about their role, their function to control the technical education. We have also discussed about Indian Institution of Management, how they have developed, what is their purpose, and how now they have advanced in all those things we have discussed under that of the professional courses. Okay. Now, one more thing that we have to discuss is regarding open and digital learning systems. This open and distance today we will close with that of your this open and distance learning system. Okay. Open education is a term that has been used interchangeably with that of your which education? Distance education. Okay. Open education is a structural device to reduce rigidities and consciously increase openness and flexibility of the educational system. So we all have come across. So now you are studying, you are going through that of a distance learning system, isn't it? IGNO is now providing you with a distance learning system. You might be thinking that if we have to follow a rigidity, a boundary, a timing boundary, then that of a physical setup boundary, school timing, everything if we need in higher education to pursue higher education, we have to give too much time. Our finance may not support us. Our timing may not support us. If we will fix to that rigidity, then there comes a end to our education. We cannot continue. We cannot pursue it as per our need, as per our will, as per our economy, as per our availability, as per the availability in a specific geographical area. So the general education system is restricted. Okay, the general education system is restricting us, is setting various boundaries to stop somewhere. But now you come to this open education system. How this open education system is helping us? Open education is a term. It is interchangeably using the term of distance education. Open education is a structural device to reduce these rigidities and consciously increase the openness and flexibility of the education system. Distance education, according to Holmberg in 1992, is a non-continuous guided didactic instructional system. Okay? Another person who is Otto Peters in 1983 says distance education has elements of industrialized education system with its emphasis on division of labor, mechanization, mass production, concentration and control. Kagan in 1986 has argued that six elements comprise distance education. These are separation of teacher and students, use of educational media, two-way communication, auto-instructional learning material. Ah, auto-instructional, you people are very much familiar, isn't it? You people are very much familiar with that all the systems. It holds good to you only. Okay? The two-way communication, the auto-industrial learning materials, occasional seminars, and in industrial form of education. In the simplest language, it can be said that distance education is the process of learning in which there is spatial and usual temporal distance between the teacher and the learner. Okay, where open education refers to the process of making learning available to learner at a place and time of his or her choice and at a rate suitable to the learner. Okay, choice of place, choice of pace, choice of place, and choice of pace of learning. At which pace you want to learn. That is there in the open learning system. The open education also implies open access to learning, regardless of previous qualification, age of the learner, all this. A third term which is being used quite often is flexible learning. Okay, it is defined as a means of making it possible for learners to gain access to education and training provisions tailored to their need and aspiration. While discussing distance education in Indian context, okay, it refers to The third stage in evolution of education. The third stage being represented by the Gurukula Ashramas of ancient India. The second stage is governed by that of the conventional classroom system, highlighting its advantages. And it is characterized by flexibility, productivity, and capability to readily respond to market demands. It is an instrument that can satisfy the requirements of equity and universal education. In India, higher education, though through distance mode, is imparted through the following types of institutions. Who is providing this open education system? Now let us have a look. Okay, correspondence courses, course institutes attached to that of the conventional universities. Okay, in every university, they can provide also the correspondence courses. Okay, then the open universities like IGNOU. Best example is IGNOU, an open university. Indira Gandhi National Open University and the State Open University. The CCLs were established largely to meet the increased demand for higher education immediately following years after independence. The second type of institution, that is the open universities, were started to provide a flexible and an open form of education in which the quality of education would be ensured. Okay. So now, now let us have a look on various kinds of correspondence courses. You people might be knowing you have joined one of such course, and this that is your MES-15, which is I think MA Education is one of such course. You might be knowing now. IGNOU is expanding. It is providing in also in the field of science. It is also providing in the field of language, in the field of that of your various other things, and along with that of science and chemistry, physics, core branches also. The open IGNOU is providing the various courses in this all the fields. Okay. Only one university in a state should offer correspondence education program at the undergraduate level. Let us have some have a look on this correspondence course institutes. Who can provide this correspondence course? The Education Commission 1964 to 68 in its report strongly advocated the promotion of correspondence education. It recommended opportunities for part-time education through evening colleges and on-time education through programs like correspondence courses should be extended as widely as possible, and these programs should also include courses in science and technology. Correspondence courses mainly represented preparation of print materials and dispatch by post along with personal contact programs. Correspondence education started with Delhi University in 1962. In later years, it made rapid progress. At present, there are about 119 or correspondence course institutions in the country. As the number increased, the UGC prescribed certain guidelines for running these programs. What are the guidelines given by UGC? Only one university in a state. Okay, only one university in a state can offer this correspondence course. Only those universities which have well-established teaching departments should offer this course. Every student should be compulsory required to return a certain number of response sheets. Okay, where there is a high concentration of students, establishment of study centers are to be developed. There should be provision of study centers. Then provision of contact programs should be an essential feature of correspondence programs. Okay, these are the features, these are the recommendations. However, the quality of instructional material, staff development, student support services, of offered in this correspondence program by different universities were discouraging, taking into consideration the deficiencies of correspondence courses institution and the recommendations of NEP 1986. The University Grant Commission (UGC) felt the need to change the functioning of CCIs to distance education mode. According to Kundal Kulan Kulan according to a committee in 2004, it is only with the objective of that the objective of this of the committee is to the situation and upgrading of transforming the correspondence course. Okay, so a committee was being framed previously due to the proper due to the non-functioning of these correspondence courses. The correspondence courses could not be very well carried out by the CCIs. So there were certain recommendations to upgrade these courses. Okay. And these were made by the Distance Education Councils. Okay. Who made these recommendations? These recommendations were given by Distance Education Councils. The Distance Education Council was set up as a part of IGNOU. Okay, the Distance Education Council was set up as part of IGNOU. A package developed in 1993, joined by UGC and BEC, envisioned that an autonomous structure for the institutions and directorates of the correspondence program, training program for the staffs, and methods and process of distance education. Then the third is revision and redesign of learning materials in self-instructional mode, use of electronic media, and establishment of study centers and organizations of contact programs. So these were the recommendations those are to upgrade the open learning system and distance learning system. The Distance Education Council, along with the IGNOU, has given these five recommendations. Now let us have a look on the open universities. Okay. By the end of these 1960s, the idea of starting an open university was discussed by working group committee chaired by G. Parthasarathi in 1974. Okay. The committee recommended that the government of India should establish an open university by an act of parliament so that students from the remote part of the country can have access to its institution, to its instruction and degrees. While the central government was still deliberating on the issue in 1982, the government of Andhra Pradesh set up the first Indian Open University at Hyderabad. IGNOU has a pivotal role to play in the development of open and distance education in India. IGNOU has, in addition to teaching, the added responsibility of promotion of distance education, of coordination and maintenance of standards, and providing financial assistance and academic support to state open universities. These are the other roles played by IGNOU. Okay. Now, the latter objectives are achieved through the significant wing of IGNOU, which is called Distance Education Council, which is called, we have already known about the Distance Education Council. With this unprecedented development in the communication technology and with an increase in the demand of quality of education, higher education through distance education mode has crossed national boundaries. The expansion of distance and flexible education offer a unique opportunity to the system to internationalize their operations with a focus on countries having large communities of people of Indian origin. Hence, along with meeting the educational needs of learners, IGNOU has expanded its operations beyond the national boundaries and at present offering academic programs in 37 countries. In India, at present, about 24% of registered students belong to distance education system. Okay. Now, their program is expanded from social science to commerce to science streams. Now, the science, technology, computer application, engineering, agricultural, and science, everywhere now IGNO is providing the distance learning opportunities. Okay. Issues. Now let us have a look on the different issues related to the CCIs and open universities. There are three major issues pertaining to distance education at higher education level. These are coordination, maintenance of standards and quality, and funding. The first two issues are addressed by IGNO through Distance Education Council, which was established in 1992 as per the IGNO Act 1985. It is mandated that to perform functions of an open university and to function as a national agency for coordination, promotion, and setting standards of distance education system in the country. Apart from these two major functions, DEC has taken over the funding responsibility of the state open universities. And CCI is with effect from December 1998. IGNOR is directly funded by MHRD of Government of India, Ministry of that of your Human Resource Development. Okay. Now, now let us have a look on this online learning. What is online learning? We are discussing on that of your open learning system. Now let us have a look on online learning. At the advancement in information and communication technologies is changing the character of education is a well accepted. It is a well accepted fact. Okay, the ICT have been instrumental in the introduction of new methodologies that have allowed development of concept and student centered learning. Computer aided learning entered the scene in India and more than a decade ago. Now the packaged educational products are freely available and the learning process has been enhanced dramatically by multimedia, computer simulation, audio video conferencing and virtual reality. Today, online learning, which is anchored in a computer network or internet, is making its presence felt. It has been made use of by both the formal and distance education system. A few degree level programs are being offered online in many developed countries. A variety of courses are being offered on the way on the web. Originally through a Originally thought of as a means of providing continuing adult education to older people, the Internet is totally instrumental in imparting professional education to all. The question arises, will the social India and the economic India be able to keep up with that of the technological India? It is time for the Indian universities to make necessary collaboration with the communication technology business houses. It is being reported that Anna University, Chennai, and Karnataka State Open University, Mysore have taken a first step in directing by signing agreements with the virtual education agencies. The Tamil Virtual University, established in 2001, provides internet-based education resources and opportunities. Hmm. So, so these are the developments in the area of technology. Okay. Now let us quickly have a look on the National Institute of Open Schooling. Okay. Uh, these institutions provide education to its students through distance mode. Okay. So during 2005 or 6, it has increased from 2,67,000. The number of study centers has continued to increase every year. During 2004-5, there were 2,482 accredited institutions and accredited vocational institutions, apart from 245 open basic education institutions. In collaboration with National Literacy Mission, the NOS Open, the National Open Schooling uh, has taken up the project on open basic education for providing education to neo-literates at the level of standard 3 and 5 and 8 standards. It has also developed learning materials in 14 subjects initially in the medium of English and Hindi, which was extended to regional languages, to namely Urdu, Gujarati, Telugu, Bengali, Kannada, etc. It also um, so the support it has also set up exclusive departments for vocational education, okay, and student support services. NIOS has provided guidance for the setting up of state open schools. Ah, they have guided for the to develop state open school systems. Okay, in Haryana, in Madhya Pradesh, in Karnataka, and in also Gujarat, West Bengal, Punjab, etc. Okay. So along with this, we have now come to an end with that of the communication and information technology. Now we all know we have already discussed the importance of communication and then that of ICT, the communication and information technology. And the professional view of education and technology is that it is an instructional system design that comprises both technology in education and technology of education. While the former involves the design of instructional devices by applying physical science and engineering technology, the latter include the creation of technology of learning by applying behavioral sciences. Distance education is obviously concerned with both the aspects. Okay, distance education in its first phase, that is distance education, what I mean to say, in the distance education in its first phase is the correspondence model, utilized only in the print media. In the second phase, it is the multimedia model, audio, video, cassettes, etc. In the third phase, it was telelearning model, audio conferencing and video conferencing. Where and in the fourth stage, that is flexible learning models, okay, interactive multimedia models. So the trend of this communication and information, it shows the trend of the four stages of communication and information technology. Okay? So we have come to a conclusion. So this is about that of your second unit of this MES-15, where we have discussed regarding today. We have briefly discussed about that of the entire session. We have discussed regarding the various professional courses, along with that of your open learning systems, along with that of your communication technology. Okay, so we have started from various teacher training programs, then the programs at institution, medicine as a profession, various programs and various institutions that run medicine as a profession, then agriculture as a profession, then we are in technology as a profession, Then we have discussed the management system as a profession. Then we have discussed about open learning systems. Then we have discussed about that of your national open schooling systems. Then we have also discussed about that of your information and communication technologies. Finally, we discussed regarding the various phases of information and communication technology. It has come across the four various stages, and now it is in the most advanced phase of interactive multimedia communication between that of the students and the teachers. Thank you.